The unseen threads.
In the heart of a bustling city, where the hum of life never ceased, there lived a girl named Elara. Her world was a small apartment, perched high above the crowded streets, shared with her mother and an array of potted plants that struggled for sunlight through the narrow windows.
Elara's days were filled with the ordinary. School, homework, and the endless cycle of city life. Yet, within her dwelled a mind that danced with questions and a heart hungry for something more than the mundane rhythm of existence. On a particularly ordinary Thursday, as the evening sun cast elongated shadows across the concrete jungle, Elara found herself staring out of the window, her thoughts adrift. Her mother, a woman of few words but profound wisdom, often told her, "Life's beauty lies in its simplicity, Elara, but the true magic, it's woven in the moments you least expect." These words echoed in Elara's mind as she observed the world below. People scurried about like ants, each absorbed in their personal story, unaware of the grand tapestry they were weaving together. It was in this moment of quiet observation that Elara's life took an unexpected turn. The phone rang, a shrill sound that seemed to slice through the tranquility of the apartment. With a sense of foreboding, Elara watched as her mother answered the call. The words that spilled from the other end of the line were like a gust of wind, toppling the delicate balance of their world. Elara's father, who had been a vague figure in her life, relegated to brief visits and occasional phone calls, had passed away in a distant land. The news struck Elara with a bewildering mix of emotions. Grief, certainly, for the loss of a father she scarcely knew. But there was also a strange sense of liberation, as if a door had been flung open, leading to uncharted territories of the heart and mind. In the days that followed, Elara found herself walking a tightrope between the world she knew and the world she imagined. School became a distant echo, and the city streets a labyrinth of thoughts. One evening, as she wandered aimlessly through the city's ancient library, her fingers brushed against a book with a worn, intriguing cover. It was titled, "The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F***CK. Curiosity piqued. Elara pulled it from the shelf, the weight of the book feeling significant in her hands. As she delved into its pages, the words spoke to her in a way nothing else had before. The book challenged her to look at life through a lens unclouded by societal norms and superficial desires. It whispered of a freedom found not in indifference, but in the careful selection of what truly mattered. That night, under the glow of a single lamp, Elara began to weave her own philosophy, one thread at a time. She realized that her journey was not just about navigating the loss of her father or the complexities of growing up. It was about discovering the unseen threads that connected her to the world and learning the art of holding on and letting go. As dawn broke, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, Elara felt a shift within her. It was subtle yet profound, like the first rays of the sun piercing through the darkness, promising a day filled with unknown possibilities. And so, with a book in her hand and a burgeoning philosophy in her heart, Elara stepped into the light of a new day, ready to embrace the world in all its chaos and beauty. As the days unfolded after the news of her father's passing, Elara found herself in a state of limbo. The routines of her life continued: school, homework, the daily chores, but each action felt hollow, as if she were moving through a dream. Her classmates, unaware of her internal turmoil, continued their chatter and laughter, a stark contrast to the quiet storm brewing within her. Elara often found herself gazing out of the classroom window, her mind wandering to distant places and deeper questions. What did it all mean? The loss, the pain, the relentless march of time. Her mother, a pillar of strength, tried to provide comfort. He may not have been a constant presence in our lives, Elara, but your father loved you in his way, she would say, her eyes betraying a well of unshed tears. But this comfort felt distant to Elara, like a soothing melody that couldn't quite penetrate the chaos of her thoughts. Then came the day of the funeral. It was a small affair, attended by a few relatives and family friends whom Elara barely knew. She stood there amidst the murmurs of condolences, feeling disconnected from it all. The finality of the closed casket adorned with flowers seemed surreal. As people spoke of her father, a man they claimed to be kind-hearted and spirited, Elara grappled with a blend of sorrow and resentment. Why had he chosen a life away from them? What had been more important than being with his daughter? It was during the wake that Elara encountered an unexpected challenge. A man who introduced himself as Mr. Donovan, a close friend of her father, approached her. His eyes, a piercing blue, seemed to look right through her. "Your father spoke of you often, Elara," he said, his voice a low rumble. "He left something for you. He wanted you to have it when you were old enough to understand its value." Curiosity piqued, Elara followed Mr. Donovan to his car parked outside. He handed her a small, locked box, ornate and old, its surface etched with intricate designs. "The key," he explained, "is a puzzle your father wanted you to solve. He believed it would teach you something important about life." Elara held the box in her hands, feeling its weight and the mystery it contained. What secrets did it hold? What lessons did her father, in his absence, intend to impart? That night, as she lay in bed, the box on her bedside table, Elara felt the first stirrings of a journey that stretched beyond her grief. This box, a tangible connection to her father, was more than a mere object. It was a challenge, a call to embark on a path of discovery and understanding. As the moonlight streamed through her window, casting shadows across the room, Elara realized that this challenge was not just about unlocking a box. It was about unlocking parts of herself yet unknown, about weaving the loss and love of her father into the tapestry of her being. With a newfound determination, Elara whispered into the darkness, "I will solve your puzzle, Father, and maybe in doing so, I'll find the parts of me that were lost with you." In the quiet of the night, the locked box sat, a silent guardian, to the beginning of Elara's transformative journey. A journey that would take her to the depths of her soul and the heights of her spirit, teaching her the profound lessons of life and the subtle art of not just surviving, but thriving in a world that was as beautiful as it was brutal. As the days turned into weeks, the locked box became both a source of intrigue and frustration for Elara. She spent hours examining it, tracing her fingers over the intricate carvings, trying to decipher any clues her father might have left. Yet the box remained steadfastly sealed, its contents a mystery. Elara's mother watched her daughter's growing obsession with a mix of concern and understanding. "Your father was a man of puzzles and mysteries," she said one evening as they sat in their modest living room. "He believed that the journey to find an answer was more important than the answer itself." This notion, although frustrating, ignited a spark within Elara. Perhaps the box wasn't just a puzzle to be solved, but a journey to be undertaken, a journey that would reveal more than just its hidden contents. With this new perspective, Elara began to delve deeper, not just into the box, but into the memories of her father. She revisited old photos, letters, and anything she could find that once belonged to him. Each item seemed to hold a piece of the puzzle, a fragment of the man who had been a mystery in her life. The more she learned, the more she realized how little she had known her father. He had been an adventurer at heart, a man who sought the thrill of discovery and the joy of the unknown. This realization brought a sense of closeness to him that she had never felt before. It was as if, in exploring the depths of this puzzle, she was exploring the depths of her father's soul. One evening, while sifting through an old journal of her father's, Elara stumbled upon a passage that caught her attention. It read, "The key to unlocking one's potential lies not in seeking answers, but in learning to ask the right questions." These words struck a chord in Elara. Maybe the key to the box wasn't a physical key, but a metaphorical one. Perhaps it was about asking the right questions about the box, about her father, about herself. This revelation brought a new energy to her quest. She began to approach the box not just as a puzzle to be solved, but as a teacher, guiding her to ask deeper, more meaningful questions. What did the box represent? Why had her father left it for her? What did he want her to learn? As she pondered these questions, Elara began to see the world around her differently. The people she met, the challenges she faced, the choices she made, all seemed to be part of a larger puzzle, a puzzle that was her life. The box, once a symbol of her father's absence, became a symbol of his presence, guiding her on a journey of self-discovery and growth. It was no longer just an object to be opened, but a gateway to understanding the complexities of life and the beauty of the unknown. Elara's journey with the box became a journey within herself, a journey where each question led to new insights, and each insight brought her closer to the essence of who she was and who she could become. In the stillness of her room, with the box resting quietly by her side, Elara felt a deep connection to her father, to the world, and to the myriad possibilities that lay ahead. She realized that the true journey was just beginning, a journey not of finding answers, but of embracing the questions and the endless mysteries they held. As the seasons changed, bringing with them the cool whisper of autumn, Elara found herself at a crossroads of introspection and curiosity. The box, now a familiar companion in her room, continued to guard its secrets. Yet, it was no longer the focus of her quest. Instead, it had become the catalyst for a deeper, more philosophical journey. It was during this period of reflection that Elara encountered Mrs. Adler, an enigmatic teacher at her school known for her unconventional teaching methods and profound wisdom. Mrs. Adler taught philosophy, a subject Elara had never given much thought to. However, drawn by a growing hunger for understanding, Elara found herself enrolling in Mrs. Adler's class. From the very first lesson, Elara knew this was no ordinary class. Mrs. Adler's approach to philosophy was deeply intertwined with real-life experiences and self-exploration. She challenged her students to question everything, to look beyond the surface of their beliefs and assumptions. "The most important battles we fight are within ourselves," Mrs. Adler would often say. "True freedom comes from understanding who you are, what you value, and where you wish to go." This message resonated with Elara. It reminded her of the lessons she was learning from her father's box, the importance of questioning, of seeking understanding beyond the obvious. As the weeks passed, Elara delved into various philosophical texts and ideas, but one book that Mrs. Adler recommended struck a particular chord with her: The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F***CK. This book, with its raw, unfiltered approach to life's challenges, spoke to Elara in a language she understood. It taught her that sometimes the key to overcoming obstacles wasn't in finding solutions, but in redefining the problems. Elara began to apply this philosophy to her own life. She started to view her father's absence not as a void, but as a space filled with lessons and love. She looked at the box not as a reminder of loss, but as a testament to her father's belief in her ability to face life's puzzles. This shift in perspective was transformative. Elara found herself becoming more confident, more willing to take risks, and more open to the experiences life offered. She learned to focus her energy not on trying to please everyone or meet every expectation, but on what truly mattered to her growth and happiness. Mrs. Adler became more than a teacher. She was a mentor, guiding Elara through the labyrinth of her thoughts and emotions. Under her guidance, Elara explored themes of resilience, acceptance, and the power of choosing where to direct her attention and energy. One day, Mrs. Adler posed a question to the class that struck a deep chord in Elara. What is the one thing you can control in any situation? The answer, simple yet profound, was your reaction to it. This lesson became a turning point for Elara. She realized that her journey with the box was not about changing the past or unraveling all its mysteries. It was about learning to accept the unknown, to find peace in uncertainty, and to cultivate the strength to face whatever came her way. Elara's philosophical awakening, sparked by the box and nurtured by Mrs. Adler, marked the beginning of a new chapter in her life. She was no longer a girl lost in the shadows of her father's absence. She was a young woman stepping into the light of her own power, ready to carve her path, guided by the wisdom of those who had touched her life and the strength that had always resided within her. Confronting harsh realities. Elara's newfound perspective on life was put to the test as the world around her began to reveal its more complex, often harsher realities. She realized that understanding philosophy and applying its lessons were two very different things. One of the first trials Elara faced was in her own school. She discovered that a beloved teacher was unjustly dismissed due to budget cuts and bureaucratic decisions. This revelation shook her deeply, awakening her to the unfair practices and inequalities present even in her immediate surroundings. Elara's sense of justice was ignited. She organized petitions and led student meetings, advocating for the teacher's reinstatement. Despite her efforts, the harsh reality of institutional power and indifference stood as an unyielding barrier. The teacher was not reinstated, and Elara was left grappling with feelings of helplessness and frustration. Around the same time, Elara's closest friend, Maya, faced a personal crisis. Maya's family was going through a financial hardship, making it difficult for her to continue attending school. Witnessing her friend's struggle brought a new level of empathy and understanding to Elara's heart. She rallied her friends and organized fundraising events to support Maya's family. It was a challenging endeavor, filled with moments of doubt and fear of failure. But through this experience, Elara learned the power of community and the impact of collective action. Though they couldn't solve all of Maya's problems, their efforts helped ease her burden. Elara also faced trials in her personal relationships. As she grew and changed, so did her connections with others. Some friends drifted away, unable to understand or keep up with her evolving thoughts and ideals. This loss was painful, but it taught Elara an important lesson about growth and change. She learned to cherish the relationships that strengthened her and to let go of those that no longer served her journey. Through these experiences, Elara began to see the world in all its complexity. She understood that life was a tapestry of light and dark, joy and sorrow, triumph and defeat. This understanding deepened her philosophical journey, pushing her to explore concepts of duality and the human condition. Mrs. Adler's words often echoed in her mind. In facing the harsh realities of the world, we find our true strength. It's in the contrast of life that we learn who we are and what we're capable of. Each challenge, each disappointment, and each victory added layers to Elara's character. She was no longer the girl who looked at the world through a lens of naivety. She had grown into a young woman who understood the depths of human experience, the complexities of society, and the resilience of the human spirit. As Elara continued to face the world's harsh realities, she did so with a heart full of courage and a mind rich with understanding. The journey was not easy, but it was necessary. It was shaping her into someone capable of facing life's greatest puzzles, someone who could find beauty and meaning in even the most challenging circumstances. This path of self-discovery, though fraught with trials, was illuminating the essence of who Elara was and who she was becoming. It was preparing her for the next phase of her journey, one where she would delve deeper into her inner world and confront the most intimate aspects of her being. As Elara navigated through the complexities of the world around her, she gradually began to refine her understanding of what was truly important in life. The challenges she faced, both in her personal life and in the broader context of her community, served as catalysts for this introspection. Elara's experiences with injustice and adversity led her to question the societal norms and expectations that she had once accepted without thought. She started to recognize how many of these expectations were superficial and misaligned with her true values. This realization prompted a shift in her priorities. She found herself less concerned with the pursuit of conventional success as defined by society grades, popularity, or material possessions. Instead, she focused on qualities like kindness, resilience, empathy, and intellectual curiosity. These, she realized, were the attributes that brought genuine fulfillment and made a meaningful impact on the world. Inspired by the philosophies she had been studying, particularly the principles from The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F***CK, Elara began to simplify her life. She decluttered her physical space, letting go of items that she no longer needed or that didn't bring her joy. This act of simplifying extended to her personal relationships and activities as well. She became more selective about how she spent her time and with whom, choosing to engage in activities that nurtured her soul and fostered genuine connections. As Elara let go of trying to fit into preconceived molds, she found her relationships becoming more authentic and meaningful. She deepened her bonds with those who shared her values and passions, and gracefully distanced herself from relationships that felt inauthentic or one-sided. This process wasn't always easy, but it was liberating. It taught her the value of quality over quantity in relationships. One of the most significant shifts for Elara was embracing her vulnerability. She learned that being open about her feelings, doubts, and fears was not a sign of weakness, but of strength. This openness allowed her to form deeper connections with others and to experience life more fully. It also helped her to process her grief and confusion over her father's death, turning her pain into a source of empathy and understanding. Elara also began to pay attention to her passions and interests, recognizing them as vital guides toward a fulfilling life. She dove deeper into philosophy, joined clubs and groups that aligned with her interests, and started a small blog where she shared her thoughts and reflections. These pursuits brought her a sense of purpose and joy that she had never felt before. The most challenging yet rewarding aspect of this phase of her journey was learning the art of letting go. Letting go of societal expectations, letting go of the need for external validation, letting go of relationships and beliefs that no longer served her. This process was ongoing and often difficult, but it was essential for her personal growth. Through these experiences, Elara began to truly understand and embody the philosophy of focusing on what matters most in life. She learned to find beauty in simplicity, strength in vulnerability, and joy in authenticity. This journey of embracing what truly mattered set the foundation for the deeper exploration of her inner world and prepared her for the next phase of her journey, one of inner transformation and self-realization. Elara's journey of self-discovery, marked by challenges and introspection, had nurtured an inner resilience that became the cornerstone of her character. This resilience was not just the ability to endure hardships, but also the capacity to grow and thrive because of them. As she navigated through the complexities of life, Elara faced emotional storms that tested her strength and resolve. The loss of her father, the struggles of her friend Maya, and the injustices she witnessed at school were not just external challenges. They stirred deep emotional responses within her. Rather than suppressing these emotions, Elara learned to sit with them, understand them, and use them as fuel for her growth. This emotional resilience allowed her to face new challenges with a sense of equanimity and strength. ###. Finding strength in vulnerability. Elara's embrace of vulnerability, a concept she had learned from Mrs. Adler and her philosophical readings, played a crucial role in her growing resilience. She discovered that acknowledging her fears, uncertainties, and weaknesses did not diminish her strength. Rather, it augmented it. By being open about her struggles, she was able to seek support when needed and offer support to others, creating a cycle of mutual empowerment. One of the key elements of Elara's resilience was her ability to maintain perspective, even in difficult situations. Influenced by the teachings in The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F***CK, she understood the importance of focusing on her response to situations rather than the situations themselves. This shift in perspective helped her to remain centered and composed, even when external circumstances were challenging. Each obstacle Elara encountered became an opportunity for learning and growth. When faced with the school's bureaucratic injustices, she learned about the complexities of organizational structures and the importance of advocacy. Helping Maya and her family taught her about the power of community and the impact of kindness. These experiences didn't just build her resilience, they expanded her understanding of the world and her role within it. The journey also led Elara to explore and cultivate her inner strength. She engaged in practices like meditation and journaling, which helped her to connect with her inner self and find peace amidst chaos. These practices became a refuge for her, a space where she could recharge and gather her strength. As her resilience grew, so did Elara's confidence and sense of self. She became more assertive in expressing her ideas and opinions. She took on new challenges with a sense of excitement rather than fear. This growth was evident in her blog, which started attracting a wider audience. Readers were drawn to her authentic voice and the wisdom that emanated from her experiences. Elara's growth of resilience was not a destination, but a continuous journey. Each experience, whether joyful or painful, added to her resilience. She learned to view life as a tapestry of experiences, each thread essential to the whole. This acceptance and appreciation of life, with all its ups and downs, marked a significant milestone in her journey of self-discovery. Through these varied experiences, Elara had transformed. She was no longer the girl who sought answers in a mysterious box left by her father. She had become a young woman who found strength and wisdom in her journey, a journey that taught her the true essence of resilience. This resilience, born from the depths of her experiences, equipped her to face the future with a heart full of courage and a spirit unyielding. In the heart of her journey, Elara found herself confronting the most challenging opponent yet, her own inner demons. This phase of her path was not marked by external struggles, but by an introspective battle within the confines of her own mind and heart. As Elara's blog began to gain more attention and her voice became more influential, she was confronted with a surge of self-doubt. Questions like, "Am I really making a difference?" or "Do I truly understand what I'm talking about?" frequently haunted her. The more she delved into complex philosophical concepts and shared her insights, the more she questioned her own understanding and abilities. With increased visibility came the fear of missteps. Elara was acutely aware that her words and actions could influence others, and this responsibility weighed heavily on her. She feared making mistakes, giving wrong advice, or being misunderstood. This fear was paralyzing at times, causing her to second-guess her every decision and blog post. Amidst these struggles, Elara also grappled with questions of identity. Who was Elara, the individual, beyond the expectations of her readers, her peers, and her family? The blend of her personal growth journey and her father's enigmatic legacy left her in a limbo of self-perception. She yearned to carve out an identity that was truly her own, not influenced by external factors or the shadows of her past. Elara's introspection also led her back to her father's memory. She wrestled with unresolved feelings about his absence in her life and the lingering sense of abandonment. These emotions were complicated, a mix of love, resentment, longing, and forgiveness. She realized that to move forward, she needed to confront these feelings and find closure. In her quest for inner peace, Elara sought solitude. She took a break from her blog and social activities, embarking on a journey of self-reflection. She spent time in nature, letting the serenity of the outdoors soothe her turbulent thoughts. These moments of solitude were healing, allowing her to listen to her inner voice away from the noise of the world. In the quietude of her introspection, Elara rediscovered her strength. She realized that self-doubt and fear were natural parts of the human experience. Embracing these feelings, instead of fighting them, gave her a sense of freedom. She learned that it's okay not to have all the answers, and that making mistakes was a part of growth. This period of internal struggle and reflection led Elara to a deeper understanding and acceptance of herself. She embraced her imperfections, her uncertainties, and her unique perspective on life. This acceptance was not a moment of epiphany, but a gradual process of self-love and understanding. As Elara emerged from her period of solitude, she felt a renewed sense of purpose and clarity. She returned to her blog, not with the aim of being perfect or all-knowing, but with the intention of being authentic and true to herself. Her writing took on a new depth, reflecting her inner transformation and her journey through the maze of self-doubt and fear. This chapter of battling inner demons marked a significant phase in Elara's journey. It was a testament to her growth, her resilience, and her courage to face the complexities of her inner world. Through this battle, she found a stronger, more authentic self, ready to continue her journey with a clearer vision and a heart more open to the vast tapestry of life. Emerging from her internal struggles stronger and more self-aware, Elara entered a phase of philosophical maturity. This period was marked by a deepened understanding of herself and a refined approach to life, centered around acceptance and purposeful growth. One of the first steps Elara took in this new phase was embracing acceptance of life's unpredictability, of her own limitations, and of the fact that some questions have no clear answers. She learned that acceptance did not mean resignation, but rather a recognition of reality as the starting point for any change. This perspective was liberating for Elara, freeing her from the burden of trying to control everything and allowing her to focus on what she could influence. Elara's journey had always been inward-focused, but now her pursuit of personal growth became more intentional. She set goals for herself, not in terms of external achievements, but in terms of personal development. These goals included deepening her emotional intelligence, enhancing her understanding of philosophical concepts, and nurturing her creative talents. She also committed to continuous learning, not just academically, but in all aspects of life. With a clearer understanding of what mattered most to her, Elara began to pursue objectives that were meaningful on a personal level. She restarted her blog with a renewed vision, focusing on themes that resonated deeply with her, such as resilience, authenticity, and the beauty of imperfection. She also became more involved in community projects that aligned with her values, contributing to causes she was passionate about. As part of her philosophical maturity, Elara mastered the art of letting go of the need for external validation, of relationships that were no longer enriching, and of old beliefs that no longer served her. This practice was not a one-time event, but a continuous process that required mindfulness and honesty. Mindfulness became a key practice in Elara's life. She took time each day to reflect, meditate, and connect with her inner self. This practice helped her maintain her balance and perspective, especially when faced with life's inevitable challenges. It also deepened her sense of gratitude and appreciation for the present moment. Another aspect of Elara's philosophical maturity was her willingness to share her journey with others. She understood that her experiences, with all their ups and downs, could be a source of inspiration and learning for her readers. Her blog posts and community interactions became more candid and insightful, reflecting the depth of her growth. Through her experiences and reflections, Elara developed a balanced perspective on life. She understood that joy and sorrow, success and failure, are all part of the human experience. She learned to embrace each with equanimity, seeing them as opportunities for further growth and understanding. As this chapter of Elara's life unfolded, she realized that her journey was not just about personal development, but also about making a meaningful impact in the world. Her philosophical maturity had equipped her with the wisdom, compassion, and resilience needed to face the world not just as a participant, but as a contributor to its betterment. Elara's story had evolved from a tale of a young girl seeking answers to a narrative of a young woman shaping her destiny. She had transformed not only her own life, but also touched the lives of those around her, inspiring them with her journey of acceptance, growth, and meaningful pursuit. As Elara progressed on her path of philosophical maturity, her relationships began to reflect the profound changes within her. She found herself drawn to connections that were deeply rooted in mutual respect, shared values, and intellectual and emotional depth. Gone were the days when Elara sought friendships based on convenience or superficial commonalities. Now, she sought out individuals who inspired her, challenged her intellectually, and shared her passion for growth and learning. These relationships were fewer in number, but richer in quality. Each person in her circle added a unique value to her life, be it through thoughtful conversations, shared experiences, or mutual support. One significant relationship that developed during this time was with a new mentor, Dr. Helena, a professor of philosophy whom Elara met during a guest lecture at her school. Dr. Helena recognized Elara's keen mind and passion for philosophy and took her under her wing. Their relationship was not just that of a mentor-mentee, but also of intellectual companions. Dr. Helena provided Elara with guidance, not only in philosophical concepts, but in navigating life's complexities with wisdom and integrity. Elara's relationship with her mother also evolved. As Elara matured, she began to see her mother not just as a parent, but as a woman who had faced her own set of challenges and triumphs. Their conversations delved deeper, discussing life, love, loss, and resilience. This newfound understanding and mutual respect deepened their bond, turning it into one of the most cherished relationships in Elara's life. While some old friendships faded away, others evolved along with Elara. Her friend Maya, for example, remained a constant in her life. Their friendship, strengthened by the trials they had faced together, grew into a beautiful bond of sisterhood. They supported each other's dreams, celebrated each other's successes, and provided comfort during tough times. Elara also experienced the beginnings of a romantic relationship. She met Leo, a fellow student who shared her love for philosophy and literature. Their relationship developed slowly, built on a foundation of mutual respect, shared laughter, and deep conversations. Leo's presence in her life added a new dimension of joy and companionship. Beyond her personal relationships, Elara became more involved in her community. She volunteered at local organizations, participated in discussion groups, and attended community events. These activities not only allowed her to contribute positively to her community, but also to connect with like-minded individuals who shared her aspirations to make a difference. One of the most significant aspects of Elara's evolving relationships was her heightened sense of empathy. She had always been compassionate, but her experiences and growth allowed her to connect with others on a deeper level. She became someone people turned to for advice, comfort, and understanding. As this chapter of Elara's life unfolded, she found herself surrounded by a network of individuals who inspired her, challenged her, and supported her. Each relationship was a testament to her growth and a reflection of her values and outlook on life. Elara's evolving relationships were not just a part of her journey. They were integral to it. They provided her with strength, joy, and a sense of belonging. They were a reminder that while the journey of self-discovery is deeply personal, it is also interconnected with the journeys of those around us. Facing the world. In the heart of her journey of self-discovery, Elara reached a pivotal moment where she was called upon to confront a significant life challenge. This moment would test the depth of her wisdom and the strength of her character. The challenge presented itself unexpectedly. A crisis struck the community center where Elara volunteered. Due to a sudden withdrawal of funding, the center was on the brink of closure. This center was not just a building. It was a haven for many, a place of learning, support, and growth. For Elara, it was a symbol of hope and a manifestation of her commitment to making a difference. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Elara stepped forward. She knew this was her moment to apply everything she had learned and believed in. Harnessing her leadership skills and her ability to inspire and mobilize others, she began rallying the community. Elara organized meetings, spoke at local events, and launched a social media campaign to raise awareness. She worked tirelessly, networking with potential donors, collaborating with other organizations, and galvanizing public support. The journey was not smooth. Elara faced moments of doubt and exhaustion. There were times when the goal seemed unattainable and her efforts futile. But in these moments, she drew upon her inner resilience and the wisdom she had cultivated. She remembered the lessons from her philosophical studies, especially the importance of focusing on what she could control, her actions and her attitude. As the campaign gained momentum, so did the challenges. There were bureaucratic hurdles, public skepticism, and even opposition from those who had different visions for the community's future. Elara navigated these challenges with patience and diplomacy, using her empathy and understanding to build bridges and find common ground. What truly made a difference in this endeavor was the collective effort of the community. Elara's initiative had ignited a spirit of unity and purpose. People from all walks of life came together to support the cause. This was not just Elara's battle, it had become the community's mission. The climactic moment came during a crucial fundraising event organized by Elara and her team. The community center was packed with supporters, local media, and representatives from potential donor organizations. Elara stood on the stage, her heart racing, as she delivered a passionate speech about the center's impact and the community's collective power to enact change. Her words resonated with the audience, and the event was a success. The funds raised were enough to save the center and even expand some of its programs. It was a triumphant moment, not just for Elara, but for the entire community. In the aftermath of this achievement, Elara reflected on her journey. She realized that this challenge had been a culmination of all her experiences, lessons, and growth. She had faced the world, not as a lone individual, but as a part of a larger whole. Her success was a testament to her resilience, her leadership, and her ability to inspire and unite others. This experience was more than a victory in saving the community center. It was a moment of profound self-realization for Elara. She understood that her journey was not just about personal growth. It was about using that growth to make a positive impact in the world. She had faced the world with courage and wisdom, and in doing so, had discovered the true essence of her strength and purpose. Bittersweet triumph. In the wake of her success in saving the community center, Elara found herself in a state of reflection. The victory was significant, a testament to her growth and impact. However, it came with its own set of sacrifices and lessons about the duality of success and loss. Elara's unwavering commitment to the cause had come at a personal cost. Her academic responsibilities had taken a back seat, her social life had dwindled, and her time for self-reflection and solitude had significantly reduced. While she had managed to juggle these aspects to some extent, the intensity of her involvement had left her exhausted, both mentally and physically. During this period, Elara also missed out on precious moments. She had to decline several opportunities to spend time with her family and friends, including important events in their lives. Her relationship with Leo, though still strong, had faced strains due to her limited availability and the constant preoccupation with the campaign. As she contemplated her triumph, Elara couldn't help but ponder the sacrifices she had made. Was the victory worth the missed moments and personal toll? This question lingered in her mind, challenging her to weigh the importance of her achievements against the cost they entailed. This phase of Elara's journey brought her face to face with the concept of duality, the idea that every aspect of life has two sides, like two faces of the same coin. Success often comes intertwined with sacrifice, and every triumph bears its share of loss. This realization was sobering, yet enlightening for Elara. It added a new depth to her understanding of success and the choices that lead to it. Realizing the need to reconnect with the neglected parts of her life, Elara took conscious steps to rebalance her commitments. She made efforts to catch up academically, spend quality time with her family and friends, and rejuvenate her relationship with Leo. She also resumed her practices of solitude and self-reflection, recognizing their importance in maintaining her inner equilibrium. This period of bittersweet triumph led Elara to a deeper wisdom. She understood that every choice has its trade-offs, and part of life's journey is learning to navigate these trade-offs with awareness and grace. She also learned the importance of self-care and maintaining a balance between personal aspirations and other aspects of life. As Elara integrated this new understanding into her life, she emerged more grounded and holistic in her approach to future endeavors. She recognized that while pursuing her passions and making a difference was crucial, it was equally important to cherish and nurture the other facets of her life. The experience of bittersweet triumph was a crucial milestone for Elara. It taught her invaluable lessons about the complexity of life's journey, the importance of balance, and the wisdom that comes from understanding and accepting the duality of success and loss. Reflective wisdom. In the calm after the storm of her endeavors, Elara found herself in a state of deep reflection. The journey she had embarked on, starting as a quest ignited by a mysterious box left by her father, had transformed her in ways she had never anticipated. Now, she understood the profound importance of embracing struggle and pain for personal growth. Elara spent quiet evenings reflecting on her journey. Each challenge, each moment of doubt, and each triumph had contributed to shaping who she had become. She realized that the struggles she faced were not just obstacles but opportunities for growth. They had tested her resilience, broadened her understanding, and deepened her empathy. The pain and struggles were no longer experiences to be feared or avoided. Elara saw them as integral parts of her journey, each providing valuable lessons. The loss of her father, the challenges in saving the community center, and the sacrifices she had made along the way taught her about strength, perseverance, and the importance of staying true to one's values. Elara's reflections led her to a profound sense of gratitude. She was thankful for the experiences that had pushed her out of her comfort zone, for the mentors who had guided her, and for the friends and family who had supported her. She was even grateful for the moments of solitude and doubt, for they had allowed her to connect deeply with herself and her inner wisdom. This phase of reflective wisdom helped Elara integrate her experiences into a coherent understanding of her life's journey. She saw how each piece fit into the larger puzzle, how her father's legacy had influenced her, and how her personal growth had impacted others around her. Elara felt a renewed inspiration to share her insights with others. She returned to her blog, not just as a writer, but as a guide, sharing her journey's lessons with her readers. Her posts reflected a deeper level of understanding and a desire to help others navigate their paths. With this reflective wisdom, Elara adopted a more balanced approach to life. She continued to pursue her passions and goals, but with a heightened awareness of the need for harmony between her personal, professional, and emotional lives. She learned to give herself the grace to rest, to say no when necessary, and to prioritize her well-being. Elara's journey had taught her to embrace life in all its complexity. She accepted that there would be more challenges ahead, more lessons to learn, and more growth to experience. But she faced this future not with fear or uncertainty, but with a sense of excitement and openness to whatever life had in store. Reflective wisdom marked a significant milestone in Elara's journey. It was not an endpoint, but a new beginning, a stepping stone to further exploration and discovery. With a heart full of gratitude and a spirit enriched by her experiences, Elara was ready to continue her journey, embracing each moment with courage, grace, and a deep understanding of the transformative power of struggle and growth. Epilogue: A new perspective. As Elara stood on the brink of a new chapter in her life, she carried with her a sense of wisdom and self-awareness that had been sculpted by the myriad experiences of her journey. The future, once a distant and uncertain horizon, now beckoned to her with the promise of endless possibilities and new adventures. The challenges and triumphs Elara had encountered had woven a rich tapestry of wisdom that she now wore with quiet confidence. She had learned the delicate art of balancing strength with vulnerability, action with reflection, and ambition with contentment. These lessons were not just abstract concepts, but lived experiences that had become integral to her being. Looking forward, Elara's vision for her future was clearer and more purposeful. She was no longer driven by external expectations or societal norms, but by her inner compass, guided by her values and passions. She envisioned a future where she could continue to make a meaningful impact, leveraging her experiences to inspire and uplift others. Elara's journey had started with a philosophical awakening, and this thirst for knowledge and understanding remained a core part of her identity. She was eager to delve deeper into philosophical studies, exploring new ideas and perspectives that could enrich her understanding of the world and her place in it. Her experience with the community center had ignited a passion for community work, and Elara was determined to continue this path. She saw herself not just as an individual on a personal journey, but as part of a larger tapestry, interconnected with the lives and journeys of those around her. Elara knew that her story was far from over. There would be new challenges, new joys, and new sorrows. But she faced this uncertainty with a sense of peace and optimism. Each experience, whether joyful or painful, would be another chapter in her story, another opportunity for growth and learning. To those who knew her and those who would come to know her through her writing and her work, Elara was a beacon of hope and inspiration. Her journey was a testament to the power of resilience, the beauty of self-discovery, and the transformative impact of embracing life's complexities. As the sun set on this chapter of her life, Elara stood looking out into the twilight, a symbol of the transition between the known and the unknown. With a heart full of gratitude for the past and eyes shining with anticipation for the future, she stepped forward into the unfolding journey, ready to embrace whatever came her way with grace, wisdom, and an unquenchable zest for life. The story of Elara was not just a tale of personal growth. It was a narrative of human potential, a reminder that within each struggle lies the seed of transformation, and within each of us, the capacity to rise, learn, and flourish. As the future unfolded, Elara embraced it not just for herself, but as a part of the greater whole, forever changed, forever growing, forever exploring the endless horizons of life's journey.